as the AI adoption increases, the opportunity for partners sort of exponentially explode. Customers are seeing almost 4x ROI on average, and then the leading customers who are really leading into AI are seeing 10x ROI. They're seeing that ROI in like 14 months.
We believe this time is like no other. We refer to these as the tectonic shifts.
All the hyperscalers in the world, if you add them all together, managed services will be 1.5 times larger.
Because it is the customer buying behavior that has created the need for all of us to rethink our models.
Until we have data quality, the effectiveness of AI cannot be realized, and effectiveness of the partnerships cannot be realized.
Can you figure out first what your purpose is and how Microsoft can support your purpose and how you can support Microsoft's purpose? Now we have a partnership. It's the ultimate partnership.
Welcome to the Ultimate Guide to Partnering. I'm Vince Menzione, your host, and my mission is to help leaders like you achieve your greatest results through successful partnering. We just came off Ultimate Partner Live at Microsoft's Redmond campus, our most powerful event yet. Over 2 days, we gathered top leaders to tackle the real shifts shaping our industry. If you weren't in the room, this episode featuring Cyril Belikoff, Microsoft's new leader responsible for marketplaces, brings you right to the edge of what's next. Let's dive in. Cyril Belikoff, I'm so glad to have you join us. So good to have you here today, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me. I'm going to grab a water here.
Oh, please do.
Yeah.
I'm going to grab a coffee, in fact.
There you go.
You're second next to me here.
Great.
So
Perfect.
we put you in the center, the hot seat.
In the hot seat.
So great to see
Yeah.
you. Yeah, we were. I was sharing this with the audience, but you and I were supposed to get together in person.
Exactly. We had a snowmageddon here, I think.
I picked a heck of a time.
We get a dusting of snow, and Seattle sort of shuts down.
I grew up in the Northeast. We get 48 inches of snow overnight, and everybody would continue on. And I was like, "Oh, what happened?" I mean, I literally was at the hotel going, "Okay, well, I was doing all these Teams calls because I couldn't get people in the meetings and that kind of thing." So I'm so glad we could do this in person.
Thanks for the invite again.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
See all of you.
So I thought we'd talk a little bit of a broader conversation too, and then we'll dive in on Marketplace, because I think it's a greater conversation. Great. I happen to know your organization. Alyssa Taylor has been a podcast guest here, somebody I worked with at Microsoft.
Yes.
And who's taken on bigger and bigger responsibilities within the organization. Leading, I would call it cloud go-to-market, is probably the right term. But talk to me about your organization, because you drive a tremendous amount of the energy and effort around Azure and industry and partners, even before this marketplace changes or happened recently. So tell us a little bit about your background. Long time at Microsoft, over 20 years. Yeah.
I've been at Microsoft, I think 27 years, 28, something like that.
Right out of college.
There are lots of different, pretty much, I had 3 days at PricewaterhouseCoopers, and then I decided, no, Microsoft's my thing.
Smart move.
And so it sort of paid off, I think. I'm part of, as you mentioned, the commercial cloud and AI organization. Yep. And my particular remit is around solutions and partner marketing, so really focus on how we take all our products and take them to market with more of a customer outcome solutions basis, and then obviously how do we enable our partner ecosystem, and that's where sort of Marketplace sort of has now fit in there. So it's an exciting time for software development companies, system integrators, all types of partners really, particularly around this AI transformation and what's going on. And of course, being in the AI team, I'd be remiss just to talk a little bit about that and what it really means for partners.
Please do. Please do.
This is a massive platform shift. I think everyone is talking about it sort of at the same altitude as cloud or mobile or the internet. I sort of prefer the light bulb analogy. And what I mean by that is, back in many, many years before cloud, someone invented the light bulb. Yeah. And it really changed both the life in the home and in the workplace. Productivity, soared. But then people were like, well, we need sources for that light bulb. So we need to build infrastructure and power, and then power stations. And then the power station companies built these power stations and then realized, well, we can actually produce more power So are there other things we can put in a home and a factory? And then people started to innovate. And then not only were they light bulbs, but dishwashers and washing machines and all these sort of innovations came. And so AI is sort of at the same platform level. And we're committed in building out tons of data centers. We're buying endless amounts of
incredible
AI
amount.
chipsets to put into the infrastructure. We're building a few light bulbs,
Yes.
but we need partners to build dishwashers, washing machines, and innovate across the new opportunities for the customers. And it's an exciting time, and that's where sort of marketplace comes into that portfolio.
Well, and I love the fact that you've taken and embraced it in such a more deliberate way, right? Because when we first started thinking about it, cloud, you mentioned cloud really changed things in a big way. Because it opened up opportunities, and AI, of course, became that. So, marketplace, it felt like it was on an island in many respects, and this is not diminishing or it was just, I think it just kind of grew up on its own, and it was tied into a product team. And just now seeing the evolution of where we're going with this and how it's more cohesive into this whole cloud go-to-market, I'd love to get your perspective on what is changing and how it's going to enhance things for the partners in the room today.
Yeah. So if we connect back to AI and even back to our history, we've always been a partner-first company. And like when we started the marketplace, you're right, we had to incubate it, we had to build it. It's many years back now. And we needed to mainstream it into the core business so that it can be part of our product strategy. And our products, we've always wanted to be great partners for partners. And with our core products, and so marketplace should be no different. And for marketplaces has both the sort of supply and demand side. So we have our classic customers, but then our partners need to provide supply into the marketplace. And so we want to be awesome partners for those software development companies, give them a great stack to build on, allow them to innovate and differentiate with AI, help them to have amazing productivity with their own developers with things like GitHub Copilot, and then to leverage our own footprint to grow with our sellers, with our products and sort of the broad distribution that we have. And so marketplace becomes the center of that. It becomes the core of how we go to market faster, sell more, and we're investing on the demand side to get customers more to marketplace, right? And so we've doubled our marketplace revenue just in this last year. Of course, much more money is made by partners through that revenue. And we have aspirations and on the path that this is the store to buy your AI solutions.
Yes.
With Microsoft as the platform and then partners providing whether it's software as a service or agents, and it's fast becoming that. So we're seeing, even on AI, we're seeing 100, 200% growth on AI, particularly in our marketplace. So lots of momentum. You're right, we sort of had to incubate it like any, any good product. You want to incubate it so it doesn't get caught up in sort of the requirements of the machine, right? Yes. And now it's time to mainstream, and we want to go really big, as you said.
Well, I think what you're signaling to the audience and to the partners watching today is that like Microsoft is doubling down. Right. And I always talk about the 7 seats at the table because I've always believed, from the old days, it was like, you get a large GSI in the room, you have one throat to choke. But customers are making and dictating their own decision process, and they're looking at the 7 seats at the table. They're looking at data and AI partners. They're looking at security and governance partners. They're looking at maybe systems integrators or managed service providers. They're bringing it all together, and because they're buying off of your marketplace, they can do that. They couldn't do that before, right? And now there's a new vehicle to get there. So
I totally agree. I think there's lots of opportunity as you talk about the multiple seats at that table. And so if you bridge into the connection between a partner and a customer and Microsoft and what that might look like, the marketplace, as I mentioned, is becoming this center for the digital transaction, whether it's a large customer or small, but also we're putting the right levers in place to connect partners with our own sellers. And so if we wanted to be at the center to provide the right solution to the right customer at the right time, we need to make sure that our own sellers have marketplace in their compensation, and we've made that change.
Nice. So what is the connection point now across Azure Consume Revenue, Marketplace, and co-selling?
So the first on co-sell is that our sellers are incented to co-sell literally in their compensation plans.
Nice.
That Marketplace can help them retire their quota. Like, it doesn't matter how much strategery stuff I do in my ivory tower.
Yeah.
That lever is golden because sellers follow their back pocket.
Fantastic.
We tell them to follow their back pocket. That's literally how we ask them to operate. Then, on the customer side, we have this concept called Microsoft Azure Commit to Consume, or the MAC.
Yes.
We love our acronyms. And so customers will negotiate with their account reps or our executives, and they'll make a commitment to Microsoft for their Azure commitments over a 3 to 5 year period, and then they'll get some sort of discount, simplistically. I'm just simplifying it.
Yes.
100% of the marketplace transactions can retire that customer's commitment. So if a customer makes a $10 commitment to Microsoft, it's a little bit more, add some more zeros, but something like, let's say $10, and they buy an application through the marketplace, and that application costs $2, and Microsoft's getting, cents, and the software development company's getting much more percentage-wise, they are able to retire their full Microsoft commitment on Azure based on the full commitment that they've bought in the marketplace, including the cost of the ISV or software development company application. So we're incenting the seller and we're incenting the customer to get to encourage their flywheel to go even faster. And many customers look at that Azure commitment and that contract as also a procurement accelerator.
Yes.
So if software development companies have things in the marketplace, the procurement requirement is substantially reduced because that acquisition has already been approved by the business.
Yeah.
And as long as there's a business leader that says, yes, I will allow you to decrement the Azure commitment, there's the procurement side is close to zero in some cases. Now, not all cases, but many, many customers are going that way.
You've simplified it. You've taken away all the legal language. You've taken away the terms, and then worrying about payments. Right? It's all handled now for partners.
Yeah, and then obviously we incent the seller, and then we incent the customer too. And then lastly, a lot of software development companies, sort of on the medium to small size, they love the fact that it's a global transaction.
Yes.
They don't have to deal with taxes across country boundaries. That's all handled in the marketplace. And so there's just so much value to getting scale. We're very excited about it, as you can tell.
Yes, I'm excited with you. I've talked about this as a marketplace moment. And of course, we're going to have some of your other leaders up on stage, right? We're going to have Sandy talking with NVIDIA and some conversations. We'll have some of the marketplace vendors that help enable these ISVs or software development companies on how to attract and work with Microsoft. We'll also have some of the co-selling leaders in the room that will help. How do I become more relevant with Microsoft? So we'll have some incredible conversations here. And this all ties in. We talked about marketplace, but the Azure consumer revenue number. I think we know that there's a paradigm between marketplace and channel sales. What's the advice on how to balance the best of both worlds? This is an interesting conversation I hear all the time from reseller or channel partners operating in one direction and the marketplace operating in a different direction. Or at least that was the past. That was the past paradigm.
Yeah, it's a great question. The first I would say is use it, give us feedback, and we'll get better. That's how we work with our partners. We've worked for 50 years like that. And so we want to work for the next 50 years. And so there is no other model that we have to crack besides our channel integration with marketplace. It's just vital. Yeah. We spent a lot of time with Nicole and her team around what we call sort of co-sell at scale. And like, how do we get scale through our channel without a Microsoft seller involved?
That's right.
And so we're thinking deeply about that and really working through that. And so it's really about the channel-led sale and how we enable marketplace and transitioning the classic business where needed to marketplace. Yep. Now, there's obviously parts of the business that might not be on marketplace, but if you're selling a software application, the marketplace is the right place to do it, and then it connects to everything that we just discussed on that value that the customer values. And we want to enable access to the 500,000 partners at scale that rely on our classic partner engines on the new marketplace, and we're starting to do that. And I guess the hero capability is multi-party offers, or MPO. Yeah. The ability to do multi-parties, a partner with a software company or app provider and a customer, multi-party offer, sort of that capability. And we've launched it in select markets, US, UK, Canada, and already we're seeing sort of a third of our sales with almost 2 times the average size with that capability. It's obvious, like we know, like, yes, we had to incubate the business, now we've got to mainstream. We've got to mainstream into our channel partners too. And so while I don't have tons to share, you can be sure that we are building more capabilities in the future that empower more channel-led growth and more partner-to-partner selling.
That's fantastic. It is an incredible engine, the multi-party offer engine. And then some of the early learnings were that it wasn't always the largest partners in the world. It was partners that were closest to the customer and providing some capability along with the other solutions that were coming along with the multi-party offer. So so I think it's an inspiring time for all of us as we think about this. We're at the end of 25. You're leaning in on 26 in a big way. I'm assuming here.
Of course.
So I do think it would be great for you to give some of the learnings to this group of leaders in the rooms, all the people that are going to be attending or watching this on live stream. Anything you'd like to leave us with going into fiscal year 26 for this group?
Yeah, and thank you again for the opportunity. So as we close out here, as the AI adoption increases, the opportunity for partners sort of exponentially explode. And I use the light bulb analogy, but I'll give you some numbers, round numbers. Customers are seeing almost 4x ROI on average, and then the leading customers who are really leading into AI are seeing 10x ROI.
Wow.
And the amazing piece about that is, in addition to it being 10x, is that they're seeing that ROI in like 14 months. In typical other IT projects, it's been like 2 to 3 years. And you write a business case, and the CFO looks at the business case, and they have this risk analysis, and it goes 3, sometimes 5 years. They're seeing ROI in 12 to 14 months.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
And it's not surprising, because that's literally the pace of the industry right now, and AI is even faster than that. And so there's real customer tangible value. In addition to that, for every $1 that Microsoft makes, a system integrator partner makes almost $9, and a software company makes almost $11. So the math on the partner side is very good too.
It's very good.
And so when you just think at a high level of that flywheel, okay, the customer is seeing value, there's opportunity in the partner. Of course, we see value, we're investing. That flywheel has to move.
Yeah.
And if you're on that bus, you'll get value. If you miss the bus, you don't get value. Like, we try to get on a few buses, many across the years. I won't mention mobile, et cetera, but maybe I just did.
I remember those days. I was in
we
this
try to
room,
get on a few buses. We
days.
have not missed this bus, and we are leading this bus, and we need our partners. Because, as I said, we're building platforms. And so
the compensation for partners is the highest in Microsoft amongst the 3 hyperscalers, if you do the analysis work that I
Yeah, we're pretty aggressive in looking after our partners. And again, all different partners, channel partners, system integrators, software companies. And really, as I said, the marketplace is the connector for it. If you haven't engaged on the marketplace, get on, take a look, try it, do a few transactions with some customers, and then give us feedback. And we will continue to evolve it, even deep into our products. For example, it's a good example. So Azure AI Foundry. So it's basically our core product that customers use to implement AI applications, whether it's advanced machine learning or generative AI or AI search. Pick your thing. It's got all the goodness in there. It's confidential AI, trustworthy AI, all the pieces of AI Foundry. So customers literally are going to this product. In the product, it has the most models on the planet, like 1,800 large language and small language models.
Wow.
Customers need to transact those models.
Yes.
So what we've done is we've connected that core product, and when the customer is trying to implement it, says, do you want to transact this? And it's an automatic behind-the-scenes link to Marketplace. So it gives you a mental model on how we think about, this is not just going to be like a classic partner transaction in front of a customer thing. We're going to embed it in our products more and more and more, to really encourage that flywheel between customers and partners in a really seamless integration way. So many great examples.
Yeah.
I get super passionate about it. I guess I would, before I close out, mention 1 or 2 partners. So
Please do.
Trade Ledger is a good example that I love.
Ledger.
End-to-end like lending platform. They literally did their first co-sale deal with a big bank, and their deal that they previously negotiated went from 4 million to 25 million.
Unbelievable.
And that might not sound a lot to some Microsoft people, but for a company like Trade Ledger, on one deal, then they can try to do it on 5, 10, 20, and 100 deals. That's real return. I guess Content Square is another one. They do insights, analytics, and they're seeing Marketplace help them close deals 11, 12, 13% faster with more than 100% uplift on their deal value. And so, as I mentioned, we're integrating into the product, we're driving demand, we're getting software companies to build, integrating with channel, and so we're investing deeply.
Great.
And I guess I would just close out with where I started. We have a light bulb moment. So let's go build some washing machines, get it onto the marketplace.
I love this.
And go learn together.
I love that. And this is your first time, really, I would say, at an event like this with partners in the room. So great to have you leading this effort. And having you, hope to have you on stage many times.
Great.
Because I think it is a light bulb moment. I think we are just at the precipice of this opportunity. And really, it's going to be an exciting time ahead.
Perfect.
So great to have you.
Thank you so much.
Cyril, great to
appreciate it.
Great to have you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Appreciate you making time for us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Ultimate Guide to Partnering. We're bringing these episodes to you to help you level up your strategy. If you haven't yet, now's the time to take action and think about joining our community. We created a unique place, UPX, or Ultimate Partner Experience, where leaders come to learn from each other. It's more than a community, it's your competitive edge. With insider insights, real-time education, and direct access to people who are driving the ecosystem forward, UPX helps you get results. And we're just getting started. We've got big plans for you this summer, as we're taking this studio and we'll be hosting live stream and digital events here, and it's all coming to you soon. So visit our website, theultimatepartner.com, to learn more and join us. Now's the time to take your partnerships to the next level.